Hi YouTube, welcome back to Wtf Rc Cars. So we've got another upgrade for the TT-02 and it's a cheap aluminium steering link upgrade. Just gives you adjustable tie bars for the steering, so lets you play about with setup a bit more. It does come with 4 bearings which go in here, and I'll put you a picture of all this up around here somewhere. And it also comes with some basic instructions. I don't think you'd really need them other than for double checking where the little washers go and which size screws. I believe you've got 10mm, 12mm and 16. So let's bring you in for a close-up look and show you how quick and easy this is to install. Alright, so first thing we're going to need to do on this one is obviously get our body removed. And then we're going to be looking to replace sort of this setup. So let's get the battery out of the way. We don't want that cable in view. So first thing I'm going to do is remove the links on the end. So let's get these out. That's got them two removed. Then let's see if we can get this off. Should be relatively easy, even though we've got the cables in way. So that's got that screw out. So then we're going to need to remove these two in the center. One of the main things with this, the original is completely non-adjustable on any links. There's also no bearings whatsoever. So we've got a little washer that goes under each one of those. But one of the big issues with this is it's all plastic olives and completely non-adjustable. We're going to need to build up this steering assembly. So we're going to need one of these little washers sat on top of each one of the posts in the car. Then we're going to want the steering assembly, and it comes pre-assembled to this point. But you've got to drop your bearings in, and I'm going to put a tiny bit of bearing oil on these just to keep them lubricated. And you just want to make sure these are sat all the way down so you don't get any binding on your steering. Then we've got the little posts, and these sit through the center of the bearing. So you're going to need to get them in position. And then you want one of the longest screws. I believe these are 16mm. And then basically we've got to get this entire assembly to sit down on top of those two washers. So if you just start tightening one up first and then get the other in, and then you can just tighten these down. Then you just want to check and make sure that they're operating properly. Now for the TT-02, these already come set to 32mm, so that's what we're going to run with. Then on the inside you're going to be wanting the 12mm screws, so let's see which one of these are longer. And I would, with it being metal screw into aluminium, I'd put a tiny bit of thread lock on it. So you're just going to want to make sure that they're thread locked in, and then we need another of the 12mm screws. And at this point I'm really surprised at just that does actually feel a bit freer. So let's see what else we've got. They're going to attach that way. Then this bar is adjustable, but as stock setting they advise setting it to 44.1mm. So what else have we got? But I'm going to put a tiny bit of thread lock on that. And it doesn't actually say whether they're expecting you to put that on there or on the steering arm, but that screw would be too long. So it now looks like we're going to have to use this little olive. So let's see if we can get this in. So that's popped in nice. See if we can just nip that up. That's got that tight. Then we're going to have to pop that on. I think the only thing we can do at this point is use one of these stock screws to put the servo arm back on. And that feels nice and smooth. Not really sure whether they intend you using that part on here, but the screw that they give you with it, if you were to use the olive on there, it'd stick out at back, so don't really seem to make a deal of sense. And if we used it on there, again it'd be way too long, so I'm not really sure what that extra really long screws for. But let's see if we can screw these in on the steering now. So I'm going for the outermost holes, same as the original mount. And I do prefer using the hex heads instead of the Japanese standard screws. Kind of wish Tamiya would do away with them. Along with, I believe Kyosho still use them on quite a few of their RCs. So there is a little bit of play in them, but not massively. But it should make it a lot freer on the actual steering, and it gives you some adjustability points now, so you can set your toe angle and you can adjust this link if you need to center the steering. Just makes it that little bit easier, but it looks quite nice. It's quite easy to fit. There is a little bit of play in it, but Not sure how much of that, because as soon as I move the wheel, the whole linkage moves. So I think a lot of that play is coming in through the servo saver. But this just feels really stiff in comparison. Every one of the olives feel really stiff. So hopefully, if we get this powered up now, we should be able to see if the servo is returning, because it's one of the things I noticed, it kept making a noise like it wasn't centering. So let's chuck a battery on it and power up the radio gear. Well, we're definitely going to have to recenter it, so let's check a sub trim. Right, there is no amount of shortening that's going to bring that back into line, so let's drop the servo out and see if we can move the servo arm round a little. Just put that on gently to start with, and then get the servo somewhere lined up. Then we can power back up, see if we need to move it any further.
Welcome to Noble.
So that's definitely going to be a lot closer. So yeah, on mine we definitely needed to drop the servo back ever so slightly. So just one tooth is all I moved it back on these splines. And then we should be able to bring it in with sub trim. So once we've done that, we can readjust his endpoints. And that should be it. We should be good to go. But that's all now fitted. Servo one's tightened up, and we've got his endpoints set, and we've got some nice quick steering. So let's wrap this one up. So there you have it. There's the steering linkages fitted. There is definitely slop in these. These are just bushings on the top. You do get bearings for the actual towers, but it feels like there's quite a bit of slop in the actual olives themselves. Whether or not it'll affect it when it's driving, yet to be seen. But my advice, if you're looking for accuracy, I've got these in just to try. I would go with the sort of more expensive brands, the Yeah Racing or even Tamiya kit, if you're looking for something that's really accurate. The Fastrax parts and the Yeah Racing all seem to fit absolutely perfect. The suspension, the Fastrax shocks, there's no play in them. They're not loose where they fasten at top, but certainly this this cheap metal steering rack, there's quite a lot of play in that. See if I can show you. So to me, to my eyes, there's quite a bit of movement in that. I mean, yeah, you've got about the same in the stock parts, and some of that is in the sort of the hubs, but there's definitely room for improvement. But it should be more durable than the stock parts. It's definitely binds far less. It's way freer for the servo, a lot freer than this, because this kind of them two parts move, but the rest of it kind of holds its shape when I pick it up. But thanks again for watching WTF RC Cars. Hopefully you find this useful or entertaining. But don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, share to friends and family, and I'll catch you guys again in the next one.